Hey guys, this is V-Petz. This is going to be my first video. I'm going to be showing you guys how I feed all of my animals when I come home. So usually I come home from work around 6 o'clock and I put my stuff down. And I'll come over. I have two dogs. I have a German Shepherd and an American Staffordshire Terrier. And what I do is I wait for them to both lay down. Wait. I'll step outside, and they're gonna still wait. Grab their bowls, and then I'll grab their food. So I feed them both Victor High Pro Plus. So really good dog food. Never had any problems on it. Neither one has really ever had an upset stomach. They both like the taste, I think, and it keeps them pretty lean. So I feed my larger dog, Chief, the German Shepherd. I feed him 3 cups. And I feed my American Staffordshire Terrier 2.5 cups now, which you'll see what I'll do. Take about a half a cup for Commander, the American Staffordshire Terrier. And I'll sprinkle it in this gravel. And I do that for a few reasons. One, he eats faster than Chief, and he'll try to steal his food. Then I'll always also scoop my cat's food. Grab that. Close this. But he'll eat his food faster and try to steal it from Chief, so that gives him some more food to go after. So you see he's moved, but then I'll give him the release. Okay. You guys will hear my cat in the background. But you know, people will ask, you know, why I feed them this way. I feed them once a day, and I feed them this exact way every single day. And there's really 2 main reasons. So first, the relationship, right? So a lot of people just free feed their dog, and they just put you know, whatever amount of food in, and then when it's empty, they put more in, right? And then the bowl just stays there, and it's the dog's bowl. When with me, what I do, right, we go through this same routine where they lay down, wait, I scoop the food, they have to wait for me to tell them, right, and then they get to eat, right? Again, I feed them once a day, 3 cups and 2.5 cups. And so what it really does is it's really good for you and your dog's relationship. So it changes the dynamic of, oh, you know, this is just the guy who fills up my bowl every day. Right. You know, obviously you're more to your dog than that, but just when it comes to the food and the bowl and that type of thing, right? When with my dogs, right, I come in every day, right, and they're hungry, right, not starving, but hungry, and I'm the person who goes out and I'm the person who is able to bring them food. So from their perspective, I'm not the person who is withholding food. I'm the person who's providing food. And it's more than just, oh, let me just go chew in my bowl. No, it's a whole mental exercise after being hungry for close to 24 hours, right? They then have to have the self-control to lay there while I have the door open, right, and not rush out, right? So there's that. And then, you know, as a single guy who lives alone, right, it helps me really control their bathroom schedule, right? So the way I do it is I come home, get her home around 6:30, and then I will feed them just how you guys saw me feed them. And then from there, right, they'll get done eating whenever they do, and they'll go out into the yard and use the restroom, right? So they get to let all of that out from when they held it while I was at work, and it kind of, them eating stimulates them to go to the bathroom. Right, then I'll let them out in a few hours before I go to bed, right, so they'll get to go again, and then in the morning, after digesting a lot of the food, they'll go in the bathroom in the morning. So by the time they go in the morning, I leave for work, they're not chock full of food, and they can hold it sometimes, or really, you know, if I need them to, a long time, so it really works. I typically don't stand out here with them this long, and you'll see what I was saying. So he's done with his food, right? And so he's going to go and search in the rock, in these stones for the rest of his food. It's really good. Scatter feeding is really good for like mental and I guess like nose stimulation, whatever that sense is called. But yeah, usually they don't really have any. They get along really well. Chief, he's 2 years old. He's a German Shepherd, so he's a blonde German Shepherd, which is an offshoot of the white gene. Very rare. It's not up to breed standard, but you know he's not a breeding dog. He's my pet dog, and I thought he was beautiful. And so yeah, usually you know they don't have any issues fighting or anything like that. I just don't want Commander to steal Chief's food. Then they just go to the bathroom and do their thing. So usually after I feed, I just pour the bowls and let him go. I go straight over to my cat and I'll feed him. So, and you may have seen the bag, but what I'm feeding him is called Instinct, and it has freeze-dried bits in it. You'll see that's the first thing he goes for is these little freeze-dried. It's like chicken or something like that. Pretty sure it's chicken, and I've had him, so he's 5. Yeah, he's 5, and I've had him since he'll be 6 in October. I've had him since he was just turning 2. You see he's going after those, and you know he's done really well on it. He is a purebred Bengal cat. So I got him from a lady, a breeder, the cattery, I guess is what it's called. It's called Acres Bengals. He actually was a champion show cat before I got him, and he was a retired breeder, and so we'll go into more detail about that later. But yeah, so you know I really like this food. Again, he never has any issues. He never, you know, I mean, his coat is shiny. Like he's always, I mean, I've never had any issues with it. Never had a problem getting him to eat it or anything like that. So the way I feed him is a little bit different than the dogs. You know, the dogs, they'll eat all their food at one time. Even when he's hungry, he's not going to eat a whole bowl. He usually doesn't even eat this whole bowl. It's about a cup. So I'll leave this food out, right, from the time I get home into all over the night, and then right before I leave for work, when I let my dogs out to go to the bathroom, right, I'll put the food up. So the whole time I'm at work, he doesn't have any food. A big thing for me, you know, I believe a hungry, not a starving, but a hungry animal is a healthy animal. It's not natural for cats, dogs, many animals besides if you're like a cow, right, to just be sitting there eating all day and just always having access to food. Even people. Myself, I participate in intermittent fasting most days of the week. So, you know, it's something I, you know, implement with my animals. Again, hungry animal, not a starving animal. So the next group I want to show you is these are my poison dart frogs. So I believe the species name is Dendrobates tintorus azureus or something like that, right? You know, I've first time keeping them. I got them probably about 6 months ago, and they've done really well. Put them in this planted enclosure, this live planted enclosure. They really, I mean, the plants. Yeah, I've really grown a respect for people who keep plants, and you know, just having them in the enclosure keeps the air clean. I mean, I never clean this enclosure, so it has leaf litter, and then it has like bio sponge or something like that, and then the plants are just planted straight in there, and I never have to clean this enclosure. It never smells. I have springtails in there, so they eat the waste, but I never have issues. So how I'll feed them, I'll just get them out some fruit flies. It's going to be hard because I have, you know, I'm only using one hand. But I will open this fruit fly container up partially. Now, this is the end of the container, so not going to be too many. And then get some detailed shots for you guys. So with them, they're honestly really simple, really beautiful. Not scared at all of people. They run up to the cage. especially when it's time. They know it's time for food. So I'm trying to. There weren't many left, so I'm trying to see if there's any fruit flies. They're all over there, so you'll start seeing them, picking them off in a second. Yep, there's one. This one's probably the best hunter out of the three. I'm like, what are you doing? You never hold up a phone. Yeah, so these three, they're really cool. I really enjoy them. Not much of a handling pet. Definitely more of just a display pet, but I mean, they're endless hours of activity. I love watching them eat. They're up during the day, so when I come home or early in the morning, they're already out, which I really enjoy. And I mean, I've gotten to them, but they have individual patterns, and so I can tell the difference, and they have little personalities. There's a third one in here that has a really, can't see where it went, but yeah, they get along fine. They're all about 6-7 months old. I've had them since they were really small, so they've grown a ton. Sorry if it was out of focus, but yeah, they do really well in here. Never had any issues with them. Yeah, Cincy. Oh, and my cat's name is Cincy, if I didn't mention. So he's a Bengal cat, right? And I'm from Cincinnati, huge Bengals fan, Houday. And so I named him Cincy, Bengal, Cincy, Cincinnati Bengals, Bengal cat. Thought it was kind of clever. These guys don't have names. May think about naming them, but, right now they're just, 3 dart frogs in their enclosure. So the next, gotta back up here, this is my African bullfrog, Bert, his enclosure, so gotta get a little lower. So he is probably, it's hard, he's back here, and I'll pull him out. So he's definitely not full grown. So not sure, 100% sure if it's a male or a female. I was about 4 or 5 months old, and he's growing I'm thinking it's a boy, but he's growing a ton. He was literally could probably sit in a penny or a nickel or something like that, and now he's bigger than like a $50 for sure. So today I'm actually going to be feeding him a pinky rat, and he'll go after anything. So give me a second here. I gotta put this down in here. I'll open the bag. So I got a pinky rat here. Typically with Bert, he eats superworms on a regular basis, but for this video, I wanted to show you guys him eating a pinky, and he can eat a ton. I've seen him eat, I fed him goldfish earlier this week. He usually eats just large superworms. He's taken down a lot of stuff, so this is a little big for him, but I'm sure he'll be able to get it down. Really fascinating pet. I just planted this plant, and this is a creeping Jenny. I just planted those earlier today, and I'm really excited about it just after my experience with the plants up here, to be able to, and, I didn't want to, make it too graphic, but he got that down. So, I'm really excited to see these plants flourish and grow and change and kind of enrich his environment. And then if you'll see, there's these little like blue spots or blue little things. That's actually grass. So on this edge of the enclosure, and then also on this edge, there'll be grass growing here in the next few days. So really excited about that. So yep, this is Bert, the African bullfrog or pixie frog. All right, guys, so here is the last part of this feeding video, my first video. So this is my ball python Olivia. Now, sorry, I did have to, I had to pause because I have a live rat for her. And, it's a lot to juggle the phone, dealing with her, and she's really, she eats probably it's about every 3 weeks, so she gets pretty hungry. So, she can smell the rat. It's in this box. She can smell it, and she's ready. So I don't want to, get caught in the crossfire. So I kind of have to be careful with, making sure the rat doesn't escape. Putting it in here, but she's a really good feeder. I'm gonna try to be really quick. So here. So you can see as soon as I open that up, she's probably gonna grab it out of the tongs. Let's see. So. Yeah, it's not even. Yep. And then I gotta make sure that it doesn't, and I'm gonna get that out of it. But want to make sure the rat, she doesn't always get the head. You want to make sure that doesn't bite the snake. So I'm gonna give it a second to die. But yeah, so Olivia, she eats every 3 weeks. Her enclosure is pretty simple. Just some coconut chips, water, warm hide, moist hide, and yeah, this is the gang. Just let me know, guys, if you want to see more content of the dogs, you want to see the cat, you want to see the frogs, you want to see the snake, if you want to see all of them. Just let me know what you guys want to see. This is a new journey for me, so I hope you guys go on it with me.